All right, as you can see, welcome to the special. Apparently the entire phrase didn't fit any. Hey, I'm gonna figure out this Streamlabs by OBS one of these days. Either that, or I'm gonna move to what's the other one? It's not Streamlabs, but it's the one with the video game rocket ship. So, yeah. But welcome all, welcome all to the show. Thank you for joining us on this. Let me just turn this off. Thank you all for joining us in this prime time edition of the show. I want to thank you all for joining. And you know what? Let me go ahead and do this right quick. I see plenty of people here. Who are the first people here? Just being Jazzy. Shout out to you being the first person here. Six Lehman's 10, the city, background fire, indeed it is. So shout out to all of you who are here. And let me go on ahead and open this if I can, so all of you can see this for a better view. All right, there we go. So welcome one, welcome all to tonight's special, in which I'm just gonna, we're just gonna talk and discuss about the following: why I don't blame women for disrespecting men. And this is going to be one of my final videos, to be quite honest, when it comes to PUA, dating, gender issues, that sort of thing. Because at this point, yes, right now, if you want to know how I'm doing personally, it's not bad, but it can be better. And a lot of that is due to bigger issues that we, as certain men, as all men, but certain men in particular, are facing due to what I believe is because of a certain agenda and certain people who currently have control. I'm just going to leave it at that. I know that's a very fake statement, but I don't want to make this into a political show. But nonetheless, why I don't blame women for disrespecting men. Now, throughout my time here online on YouTube under this particular account, and yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Oh my goodness, I understood that one. South Senku Ishigaki. Yes. Hey, konbanwa. Konbanwa Ishigaki-san. That's my Japanese right there. But why I don't blame women for disrespecting men. Alright. So, throughout my time, as what I like to call myself as an affiliate, associate, acquaintance, and ally of most of the Manosphere, regardless of race, I've seen similar patterns for the better and for the worse. And a lot of those patterns include guys who, yes, they want to help themselves become more manly. I get it. Whether it's because they feel as if the elders have failed them in the realm of manhood, or because of just them not having luck with the ladies, whatever reason, or whether it's because they had luck with the ladies before but have since fallen off of favor with the ladies and are facing consequences due to being out of favor with the ladies. I say this time and time, well, I probably haven't said this before, but I'll say this just to sum it up. A majority of what is called the Manosphere, it has proven itself to either be 40% or 40 to 45% of men who never really had luck with the ladies, regardless. And I don't just, well, whatever. 40 to 45% of those guys are in that category. 40 to 45% of those guys are guys who've had luck with the ladies but have fallen off of favor and are dealing with the repercussions, including things such as child support, etc. And shout Sarah in the building. Let me add you as a mod. Because you do have, I have my wrench over there, right? Right? Okay. So, as long as my wrench is over there, I'm going to give you a wrench. But shout out to Zero. And, speaking of Zero and a couple of other individuals, let me just say this and preface this with this. As far as the gripes that a lot of guys have within the Manosphere space, I am not one to say that you do not have a right to have a voice, and I am the last one to shame you. So, with that being said, I just want to preface it with saying this. However, I got to make this video. I got to make this video not because of what you guys are saying or doing, but what you guys are not saying and doing. And it's quite simple. A lot of guys are not taking action. A lot of guys are not willing to take that next step or to take that first step. And a lot of guys, I'll be honest, they just love hearing themselves talk. Now, you can put me in that category to a certain extent, but overall, I'm not seeing a lot of progress. I'm not seeing a lot of action. Damn sure not seeing a lot of action. And I'm not seeing a lot of results in a lot of these guys' lives. And that's not to say that these guys are doing anything wrong necessarily, but let's just say what it is. What's the point of this? What is the point of what a lot of guys call the Manosphere? Yes, you can call me an ally of it, whatnot, acquaintance, associate, affiliate, fine. I work with individuals from time to time or constantly. Solo TV is one of them. Was O'Shea back in 2017-18. Shout out to him. And I've been on plenty of panels such as, was it Black Rim 313, shout out to him. Ramiro Mir, shout out to him. And I get constant shout outs from individuals such as Ed Ranson, shout out to him. Now, with all that being said, there has to be an end goal of this. And a lot of guys need to be honest. Is the end goal you gaining respect back as a man? Or is it the end goal getting yachts on the thought so you can ride the box? I mean, because if that's what it is, if you want yachts in the thought and indulge in the box, then just say it. If that's what you want to do all day, I have no problem with that. Just be honest. Or is it that you want to get women who disrespected you in high school and elementary school and all other schools to finally respect you, even though you say she's done hit the wall? What is it for that? Is it for the laws to change? I know Ciro talks about that from time to time. Him and a couple of other individuals, they want the laws and policies changed. But even with that, what are you guys doing to light a fire in the ass of some of these politicians? I mean, yeah, a lot of guys want to say, "Oh, I did this, I did that." Well, look at who's president. And I'm not here to say who you should or shouldn't have voted for, but a lot of guys were praising basically singing the praises of Donald Trump. But when it came down to it, a certain demographic of men voted for Sleepy Joe, and you know who, aka the real president. I mean, I'll go there. You all voted for not Donald Trump at the numbers of 80+%. Yes, there were 20% of men who didn't vote for him. All right, shout out to all of you who, at the very least, are somewhat aware. And this isn't even to say that Donald Trump was the savior and Biden is going to make us all wear skirts. Because, I mean, I'm hearing some of these other conservatives talking about man, my son's going to wear a skirt and he's going to throw around and they're going to make they're going to make him more. Look, if you're that damn concerned about your son being moist, wearing a skirt, being forced into Cybertron and having all sorts of agendas pushed down on him, then take action. And shout out to the guys who are actually taking some sort of action in order to not let that happen to them, well, to their kids. But let's get on to why I don't blame women for disrespecting men. Because a lot of this, as I said, is due to inaction. It's just due to inaction. Yeah, with all that, all the men talking about the legal changes didn't vote. Yeah, they didn't vote for it. They voted for fake racism and welfare over their priority. They voted for fake racism and welfare over priorities. And I mean, if there's a way to pin the comment, okay. So OBS, I need to pin comments. I wish I can pin comments. I mean, there are comments that will show automatically. Certain comments, wink, wink. But yeah, when it came to push and shove, I mean, we all know what time it is. Dirty party. You know what? Hey, third-party candidates are better. I'm not giving you there. Anyway, why don't blame women for disrespecting men? Crying about something or someone. Let me unhide this. Because that's the first reason I see why I don't blame women for disrespecting men. A lot of guys cry. A lot of guys complain. A lot of guys moan. And that's what they use their channels for. Whenever I go onto one of these channels, not Manosphere Highlights Daily. No. When I look up, alright, so I'm looking at Manosphere, right? And I'm seeing all sorts of results. Why is it that 90% of these things I see, the results I see, are not of the so-called content creators? They are people who are neutral, who either are indifferent or show unbiased clips, such as Manosphere Highlights Daily, which is, by the way, why doesn't no one shout out Manosphere Highlights Daily? If you want to talk about someone who's impartial, who's neutral, who has a fair analysis, and takes clips not out of context, it's Manosphere Highlights Daily. Shout out to him. Go sub to his channel after you're done watching this video. But yeah, MHD. For all the guys who are rambling and talking trash and doing all sort of kind of stuff about, oh man, look at these women, man. Look at these women. Look at these women. And they're blaming someone. And this isn't just the B manosphere or the W manosphere. This is going to cover all men today. All men are getting this smoke. Because all men, particularly those who wave the red pill manosphere talking points, a lot of them, they just come off as whiny. They're whining about, if they're black manosphere, they're whining about the man, right? They're whining about the man. They're whining about racism. Which, by the way, I mean, you want to talk about the R word, or racism, then I'll be honest, take me back to 2020. Yeah, take me back to the time when we were all locked in and where no one could be an a-ho or a d-bag or have their little racial hang-ups. Because guess what? Everyone was too worried about what would happen next. Everyone was too worried about, well, is there going to be a second wave or third wave or fifth wave, or is there going to be a mutant strain, which mutant strain's still out there, folks, although no one's going to talk about it now because, you know, certain people aren't. But take me back to this time last year. It was way less racism. Way less. And even 2 to 3 years ago, it was less racism mainly because, guess what? A certain president, who everyone said was racist, guess which group of men he didn't go after? Exactly. I guess the mainstream media was just too bothered by Orange Man Bad being too neutral towards BMs. I mean, anyway, but back to the BMs. On certain spaces, a lot of them cry about something. I'm sorry. Whether it's the man, yeah, you all voted for the man. You cry about the man, but you vote for the man, and now it's back to business, back to hating you, the BM. I don't want to hear it. Any of you who want to talk about Orange Man Bat, I don't want to hear it at this point. Or whether it's WS. Now I'm gonna make a video about WS, and particularly one reason why I don't blame BWs for not liking BMs. The fact that you want to put WS as part of your lexicon just shows you how powerless you see yourself as. Even if there are institutions out there, which you can argue it, okay, fine. You want to argue it, you want to debate it, you want to put all sorts of expand samples up there, where I'm not against it. I'm not saying that they don't exist. But where is it that you are going to stand up for yourselves and say, oh yeah, okay, this WS, it may be hindering me to a certain degree, but guess what? I'm going to find a way to overcome this WS and make it nullified, just like other ethnicities have done in this country. You weren't the only ones who were deemed as less than. Alright? I'm not saying get over it, but get through it. Shake it off. No other man or system is supreme over any other sort of man. Even if that is true, that's the mentality you're going to have in order to overcome it. Unless you love whining about it. Unless you love complaining about it. Unless you love to use it as an excuse to not do anything yourselves. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And you wonder why BWs don't respect you. You wonder why. And a lot of people say, oh, you're talking trash behind a screen. Well, you know what? I have a certain policy in this channel. If certain individuals want to be sponsors, shout out to the latest sponsors, by the way, who you see on the screen. But if anyone else wants to be sponsors, there's a limit in which, after I get to that limit, I'll turn that camera on. And I'll keep talking. But in the meantime, yeah, you're getting this work. Everyone. It's WS or the man / or those who blame BWs for their whatever. And these are guys I don't mind. Some of these guys I don't mind. They always want to go at the BW for some reason. Whether it's for a legitimate reason or whether it's for some fabricated reason, whether it's some, false flagged or pre-staged attack. Like these guys who have the camcorders up and just looking like straight up Bamas, Dozers, going through the drive-through and seeing that a BW's there, and then they'll look all sorts of awkward to the point. They'll do all sorts of things in order to trigger her or to catch her on a bad day and see that, she's having a bad day, all like that. Look, a lot of you all don't even need to go that far in order to, whatever. You know what? A lot of these guys blame BWs, and you wonder why BWs don't respect you. Not to say to go the opposite side of the spectrum and go all freaking Boyce Watkins and be stepdaddy of the year. I'm not saying that. But a lot of you guys need to really think on what you're doing. What on earth are you doing? Just blaming the BW and putting all these examples of the BWs and putting all these caricatures of the BW up. Look, as far as that's concerned, you know where I stand when it comes to the American BW, all right? Not all of them are like that, but too many are. Those who are like that, you know what we're talking about, the D word, haggle, D-haggle. Those who are a haggle, don't deal with them. Whether it's going outside your race or going outside your culture, intercultural dating, shout out Edward Anderson. But yeah, do what you got to do in order to reduce the amount of stress. Unless you like the stress, unless you like being complained at, unless you love drama, which I think a lot of you do. Let's not talk about the, you want to talk about Stockholm Syndrome? Let's not talk about Shiniko Syndrome. Maybe we'll touch that in another video. On the opposite side, the non-BMs out there, especially those in the white manosphere. What is your obsession with BMs? BMs and the BBC. You know, it's funny. A lot of these guys who are part of the other side of the manosphere, and before I get to the other side of the manosphere, shout out to, and I know a lot of you guys may feel a certain way about him because he's a dating coach, and he's a dating coach, he's trying to get your money. Donovan Sharp. Shout out to him. Shout out to him on his successful conference of masculine excellence. And the reason I want to shout out to him and people like him is because if you are going to do a red pill / manosphere kind of space, or S kind of space, because the red pill manosphere words are just, I'll be honest, they're bastardized at this point. But if you want to do something in order to bring out excellence in men, you have to cross races. And this is what Donovan Sharp has successfully done. Him and a couple of others have pulled in an untapped, racially neutral, as they like to call these days, based audience, who see that we are all men, we are all in the back predicament, and we need to do better. Enough of this tribalism and, man, the white man with BBC. Enough of that. And shout out Donovan and his crew for displaying the example of a cross-racial manosphere. But back to the other side of the manosphere. These other guys who won't be mentioned today, one of whom includes an individual who loves to pretend to be the president. He's LARPing Donald Trump, really? I mean, Donald Trump LARPing, if you're going to do that, then you didn't realize that he was neutral towards BMs? You didn't realize that Donald Trump wouldn't, the last group of individuals he really went after were BMs? He went after a lot of people. He dragged a lot of people through the mud. He put the rhetoric towards the Muslims and the Latinos. I wouldn't blame those groups for voting against him. But everyone else out there, including BMs, he was pretty neutral. So how can you tell me that if you're going to LARP the president, shout to those who know what I'm talking about, if you're going to LARP Donald Trump, then why is it that you made an exposed video for over 2 hours long towards a black man, one black man? And that I include within this crying about the BBC, the BMs, these individuals, these alt-right individuals will constantly bring up examples of BM decadence. For some reason, they just can't seem to get over it. Or whenever they see one of their fairly ladies, or the ladies who they think they own, shout out to the East, whenever they see one of those women go after or admire or choose BMs, then they're for the streets. They're no good. They're coal burners. They're gonna pay the toll. They're gonna be a single mother. That's why a lot of these women don't respect you to begin with. That's because you can't compete on a face-to-face level, and a lot of these women intrinsically know that. They intrinsically know that. Yeah, they may still marry you because either you have the power or you just hold a lot of the keys to whatever economically. But 50% divorce rates at the very least. Oh, we really see what's up. Yes, I know a lot of people say, well, it's less if you get married before you have kids, and if you graduate, get a GED, and you do all this other kind of stuff, and the marriage rates are lower. Look, those are for individuals like us who know what we're doing and who know how to play the game. Yes, I agree. Don't have kids before you're married. Get a GED, get a high school degree at least, and get a skill, whether it's a skill or trade or STEM degree, and your chances of getting the force will lower. That is something that I know that's against Manosphere red pill talking points. Oh, you're advocating marriage? Who said I was advocating for marriage, particularly in America? But nonetheless, let's get on to the second point. Oh, and this is one that I've been noticing this lately. Pleading, reasoning, and negotiating with so-called women. All right. Now, a lot of you guys out there are like, well, what do you mean by pleading, reasoning, and negotiating? 8-hour hangout videos where you all want to bring up examples on what this girl's doing wrong, what this woman are doing wrong, and they're doing this wrong, they're doing that wrong, and they won't cooperate with me, and or they'll bring up examples of celebrities acting like fools, and then they'll take that and run with it and say, oh, like, wow, really? And then they use these as examples on what you need to do right. And look, these women know what they're doing right. You can say a lot of things about today's Western women if you want to put the label on them. But one thing you can't say is that they're stupid. I'm sorry. They are not stupid. They know what they're doing. And quiet as it's kept, they don't do the disrespect universally. I'm sorry to say, the disrespect is not universal. And I look, do they determine it by guys let's determine by guys they like and respect, honestly. The guys they like and the guys they respect, they do not practice such crap. And shout out to Club Fortune, aka Osaragi, with the $2 super chat. Thanks for the stream. This needed to be said. Thank you. And thank you for doing that. So $48 more to go if you want me to put my screen on for the guys who are wondering, why am I talking behind a screen? Well, yeah, it's because a lot of guys will support the crying. They'll do all sorts of super chats and cash apps there, and all sorts of other stuff that I'm going to name next. But everything else, listen, in free review. You aren't massaging my ego. You aren't petting my you aren't petting me. You aren't petting my bussy. Pet my bussy and I'll don't. Yeah, okay. This isn't the channel for echo chambers. This isn't the channel to say one side's right and the other side's wrong. This is an objective, pragmatic channel where, well, the ultimate goal of this channel is to transcend the image of certain men. But I invite all men who want to be allies along with the ride. Yeah, no, and this is no shot at any particular YouTuber. Chill out with that, please. But yeah, pleading, reasoning, and negotiating. A lot of these guys think as if their logic, their explanations, their examples, their whatever, case studies on what celebrities do is going to make women change. Show me one female that these guys have converted over to their side. I'll wait. Want me to put the Jeopardy voice on? Come on. Want me to put that Jeopardy voice on? Yeah. Want me to point? I'll put the Jeopardy voice on if you all need time to see, point out women who have been converted. Yeah, Donovan Sharp just, yeah, I'm dropping names. Donovan Sharp just texted me. Yeah. Hey, as I said, CME, shout out to him. But yeah, the guys out there who think doing all these 8-hour hangouts and that sort of thing, these guys think they have these guys have the mindset or the thought that, oh, they're going to get women to convert. That I'm going to reason with a woman to the point in which, oh, they'll come around to me. They'll choose me. Because that's what it's about. A lot of guys want to get chosen. And they still think if I say enough, or if I bicker enough, or if I wear them down enough, then, oh, they're going to choose me. They're going to choose me. Come on, choose me. Which is what a lot of you guys want. You just want to be chose, or you want it to be that select guy in the community. And you guys just can't come to grips that not you all who are watching for the most part, but a lot of other guys out there, and of course there's only 10 people, so echo chambers. Yeah, it's not echo chamber. Let's go on. Let's go to something that will assuage my ego, will pet my pussy, and they pet it. Just pet it, because that's what a lot of these guys want. But to the troopers out there who are really watching, shout out to you all. Let's go to the third point. This is a big one. A big one within American society. Following what others tell you how to be a man. Or following the guidance of what others tell you. So, the two main examples, as you can see here, are sensitive men, which, if all of you remember the 90s, which I'm assuming half my audience does, the big thing in the 1990s was to be a 90s man. And that 90s man was being sensitive, was being caring, was being kind and considerate. That was a big thing that was pushed throughout the 90s, especially during the early and mid parts of the 90s. Yes, we just came out of a decade of decadence in the 80s where it was just, at least from my not recollection, because I was only born, I only lived throughout 3 years in the 80s. So, and obviously, chances are I don't remember what was on TV that much during the 80s. But we went from a decade of guys just really having some sort of edge to them. Not as much edge as guys back before the 80s, but hey, if you want to talk about masculinity, I mean, the 80s was probably the last decade when you really saw raw masculinity. And shout out to the Geo Scholar with the $5 super chat. I'm not complaining. My strategy, I want to hear his strategy. All right, let me get ready for this. Concentrate on my job, my health, concentrate on the other side, on my other side endeavors. Getting a woman will come when it comes, and that's exactly how you have to think. So, hold on, let me just check something right quick. All right, yeah, we're good. You all can hear me, that's what I thought. And yeah, shout out to the Geo Scholar with the $5 super chat. So, with that being said, following what others tell you how to be a man, being a sensitive man, you gotta be a sensitive man. You gotta bring her flowers. You gotta do all this other kind of stuff. See, okay, 14 views. I see you guys come back in here. I'm talking against simping, yeah, and that's what R&B. Okay, so R&B. There we go. Remember R&B music? Everyone talks about an R&B. What was R&B music known for, individual? So for all of you who are in the chat, I'm giving you a bit in order to tell me what did R&B promote in regards of how to be a man. Just go ahead and list them. I'll give you guys 30 seconds in order to list them down. Come on. We all know it. We all know what R&B music promoted. Oh, you guys need some help? All right, cool. I'll help you a bit. Yeah, well, I'm not talking about the artists per se, but I'm saying what were their messages? Yeah, I mean, he's one of them. Granted, he's one of them. But what were their messages? I mean, simping, stepdaddying. It wasn't just the S word. It wasn't just the sex word. No, it wasn't that. It was romance, loving, being lovey-dovey, bringing flowers over, taking girls on dates, doing all this other kind of stuff. Can't be without you. All this other kind of just lovey-dovey, mushy, cushy stuff, right? which, okay, on the surface, it was alright. I mean, but a lot of R&B, one-eyes, there you go. They started to take it far. They really started to take it far with the simping. With outright simping, outright one-eyes, outright can't live without you. And these were dudes singing this to chicks. And then they pushed the agenda even further with stepdaddyism and I don't want to know, you're cheating on me, okay, just keep it on the low. And all this other kind of stuff. See, that's one side of how following what others tell you how to be a man. That is the reason. That's one reason, or one part of one reason why I don't blame women for disrespecting men. You allow them or whoever made the music to tell you how to be a man. And especially in the community, it is sad how a lot of guys will live. They literally get their lexicon off of music, like wifey. Oh goodness sakes! Anyone else who says wifey, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna do no shit, right? The next person who says wifey, just in any sort of way whatsoever, I need a wifey. She ain't wifey material. I'm going online and I'm cooking them. I'm cooking them from the get-go. I don't know what I'm gonna cook them about, but I'm cooking them. See, this is what I'm talking about. You see. Shout out to Painless Prison. You see. But yeah, sweating, and there you tell me, yeah, it gets cringe. We all know how cringy it is. But on the other side of the perspective, there is another side of cringiness that we are all seeing right now, which goes back to the thug image. Yes. You had, especially where I came from, a bunch of knuckleheads. I was raised with a lot of knuckleheads. Not all of them. There were some good individuals who were cool. And it's a shame that I didn't keep up with them throughout the years. But I'll be honest, the majority of people who I grew up around with were knuckleheads or aspiring knuckleheads. And a lot of them wanted to fit into that thug image. I just hate to say it. Because they thought that's what the women wanted. That's what the women decided. That's what the girls decided. That's what got them wet. And yeah, you had a lot of, I'm just gonna say, it's a majority of girls I grew up with, and they were promoting that. And a lot of these guys were just following what the women wanted. Which, yeah, on the surface, in the beginning, that may have worked when you were like in your teens or whatever, even 20s, if you stayed in the community. But now we're starting to see the effects of it. Now we're starting to see what really is going on. Now we're starting to see the results, or the lack thereof. And now you're starting to see the disrespect. The disrespecting from these same women who 20 years ago chose up upon these, what I like to call Renaissance Fair gangsters. These Renaissance Fair these thug LARPers. Thug LARPing and Renaissance Fair gangsta posers. Who, oh man, I'm hard, man, I'm hard, I some steets, and exactly. Hey, today on X-Men, oh man, I need to put in, I need to put in that, man. Shout out to Shows and Hammer. I think you were the one who said that. I'm putting that as an intro. But yeah, all these guys, even, and it's funny, these guys who wanted to thug LARP in the 2000s and in the 90s are now crying about these same women choosing upon the real thugs and gangsters. If you as a man say, "Nah, I'm saying, nah, I mean," or I'm a this, I'm a that, you hurt me, I feel me, all this other kind of stuff. I can tell that you were one of these individuals who were trying to thug LARP back in the day, or trying to be a Renaissance Fair gangster back in the day. And if you're one of those individuals, you have no room to complain when Shaniqua chooses a real gangster, a real thug. And no, look, you can't hide behind your Shaniqua syndrome, your Stockholm syndrome of, no, don't do that. And no, don't say, oh man, I was a real man. No, you're thug LARPing. But you didn't win. You didn't win. You weren't the biggest thug in the room, and then you got exposed, and you're like, yeah, okay, exactly. Or today, if you need an example of today on how following what others tell you how to be a man, it is tattoos. Goodness sakes, tattoos. If I see another face tat, well, I don't see a lot of face tattoos, thankfully, where I live. But if I see another face tattoo on TV or even in the filter, I am going to cook that individual because I don't know what it is. A lot of guys are feeling as if, yeah, I need to have a tattoo to be seen as a man. Just because a bunch of silly TikTok thoughts are telling you, oh, if you don't got a tattoo, how do I know his testosterone level's high? And I don't know if he's one. No. If you want to show testosterone files, then look, grow a damn beard, all right? Beards are correlated with high testosterone, particularly a filled-in beard. A filled-in beard. Hell, as a matter of fact, my beard gets so full and filled in that whenever I go to the barber, I'm telling the barber, dude, just lower my tattoo. Lower my tattoo. Exactly. Lower my tattoo and just raise that bitch off until I just see red. No, lower that beard until, yeah, exactly. Lower that beard until it gets to a presentable level where I don't look like as if I've been in the cave for umpteenth years. Anyway, let's go on to the next talking point. And before we do that, okay, well, let's go on to the next talking point. Knocking down and not helping men with the ability and potential to build and produce. Now, this is a complicated one. This is one in which I have a specialty in because I'm the only one who basically talks about this. And before I go into this, shout out to Kwame Brown, Mama's Cooking, and the Geo Scholar with the $2 super chat. Once again, I don't have any tattoos, don't want tattoos. Hey, you and me both. But yeah, knocking down and not helping men with the ability to build and produce. We all see it within this space even. And look, you got a lot of guys who see individuals, who know individuals and have channels, or who have channels, know individuals who have channels who have the ability, and I'm not saying just myself in this, and hell, I'm not even the biggest individual who probably has the most power to make change, to build and produce. But we see guys on this space who are builders and producers. But these guys get barely any support. Who was the guy who actually built the school? Is it King Randall? I think it was King Randall. Randall School? The King Rattle School. Alright, so, check this out. You all know who he is. If you don't, then King Randall. King D-A-L-L. Okay, got it. So, King Randall. This is an individual who actually, unlike some individuals, ended up building a school. Particularly a school to help young black kids stay out of jail. He's a 21-year-old Georgia man and military veteran, so shout out to his service. And why haven't we talked about this guy? Why hasn't the Manosphere, particularly the black Manosphere? I get why the other Manosphere doesn't want to do it because, oh my god, BBC, he's empowering black boys to compete so they can actually get jobs and trades and they're going to go and our women are going to check them out. We can't have them have power. I get why the other side doesn't want that. But black Manosphere, why have you not talked about King Randall? Why has there not been a spotlight on King Randall? Oh, we're going to do a King Randall spotlight just for a bit. Let me just say... all right. Oh, wow. School board is blocking him from helping children. And check this out. Where does King Randall get some positive press? Some good press? Big bad racist Fox News? Huh? But look at what other BMs do to him. All right, so King Randall blocked from opening school because superintendent is afraid of competition. Let me see. All right, the X-Boys like prepare. Exactly. So, why hasn't this guy gotten praise? Why hasn't this guy gotten support? King Randall. What? Look at King Randall. Is this the same King Randall? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Do you see how few subs he has? Do you see how little views he has? Are you serious? He barely has more views and subs than I. This is what we're talking about. This goes into my example of knocking down and not helping men with the ability and potential to build and produce. A lot of guys in the Manosphere cry and complain about, man, why ain't there no producers? Man, us thinking men are few and far between. Man, a bunch of pookies and street cats are getting our women, man. Well, at least the pookies and street cats can work together to a certain degree, even if it's just roasting and complaining or building a club up and getting some snoo in the club. Anyway, Jaws 2003 with the $5 super chat. A lot of black men have that Highlander mentality. I thank you for that. Thank you so much, Jaws 2003, for saying that, because that's going to be something I'm going to touch next. It is a very small group of brothers that do want to work together. And yeah, and look, hell, you even see this among the other side of the Manosphere, the so-called, the pure Manosphere. The pure man. We're so pure and we're so enlightened, and we're going to go out of our way to not have any BM representatives, that we're going to get other men of other races to boost them. Let's not go there. But they can't even work together. I mean, you had, I was just say, Fruit Roll Up and Donald Trump LARPer. I mean, those guys can't even get along. I mean, it's that bad. I mean, look, so it isn't just with BMs who can't work together. It's other men. And then other men and BMs, look, they work in, I don't know what it is, but they both do a damn good job in not helping at best and knocking down at worst men who with the ability and potential to build and produce. Okay. Yes, you have, look, I'm not trying to hear any more crying and complaining if you guys don't want to help individuals who are trying to help you in the end. Put your money where your mouth is. And I'm not talking about the chat, because you guys have done so much support. I'm not talking about those who have already super chatted. You've done enough support. I'm not, trust me, I probably have, never mind. But yeah, a lot of these guys out here, they don't want to support individuals like King Randall, who out of his own sweat, blood, and wallet and checkbook. What did he do with his checkbook? Did he trick his checkbook off? Did he bring his checkbook to a bunch of women who didn't respect him? Or did he bring his checkbook to a bunch of dirt road women who wanted his checkbook? Because look, I'm not going into there. Look, I'm cool with traveling. And I'm cool with the Geo Scholar, who once again with the donations, he's been like the biggest supporter today. Sheesh, you just want to have your name plastered all on this list. So another $5 super chat. The Menstrual Club, I'll just call them that. Featured scam artists. Of course, they featured the scam artist. What is it? The Prince of Denny's, the Prince of Deep Dish Pan Pizza. It's a Pan Africanism. Pan my ass. More like Deep Dish Pan Pizza. That is what you're the prince of, all right? And you all know who he is. The produce you mentioned, he doesn't get enough credit. Yeah, the productive you mentioned, he doesn't get enough credit. The product, I guess, King Randall, he doesn't get enough credit. Was he put on a special guest on any of these Red Pill Manosphere shows? Was he? Did anybody reach out to him saying, oh, just what you're doing? Oh, producer, yeah, the producer. The producer you mentioned, he doesn't get enough credit. Yeah, King Randall doesn't get enough credit. He's not getting enough credit because of various reasons. At best, he's born. We want to talk about kids and building schools of kids. Man, that born. And I'm not sure if he sounds. I'm sort of hesitant in clicking the Fox News thing because credit. It's like, oh, it's our material. But yeah, go ahead and check out King Randall once you're done. But let's see what they have. Let's see what the algorithms have to say about King Randall. There we go. So let's. Whoa! Look at this. So he's getting blocked by the superintendent, not the Super Nintendo. Shout out to everyone who knows that reference. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Speaking of the Prince of Deep Dish Pan Pizza, another, let's just say the Democratic Prince of Deep Dish Pan Pizza vigorously attacks young school founder for his saddies, for his liberal saddies. freaking liberal saddies are paying. And look at this. You know the worst thing about it is, Roly Poly, the king of Roly Poly, he's no longer working for liberal Sadie fired his ass from CNN, and he's still doing their work. He's still doing their bidding. Wow. I'm like, wow. Look, oh, the lip smack. Well, Tariq Nasheed. What? He exposes beef of a young man. And lied to. So is he part? Oh, I thought Tariq Nasheed was defending King Randall, but apparently lip smacking Max at it again. Oh wow, guys. This is what happens. The lip smacking Mac. Him and his exposes King Randall as well as being a federal aid. You know what? Everyone who's trying to, and you know what? There was a reason why the liberal guys and the pro-act guys, along with the mainstream guys, you know, the ones who are blocking the Super Nintendo, whatever his name is, you know, there's a reason why they're all doing this, and there's a reason because they rely, Roly Poly, Lip Smacking Mac, and others rely on BMs being unproductive in order to keep their lifestyle going. Let's just be honest. What's that new book or new documentary that the Lip Smack Mac came out with? Buck breaking or something like that? Buck break or buck broken? So once again, we aren't wasting time and looking what it is. Because we can guess what it is. It's going to be a movie about how you was buck broken, you was defeated. He'll probably throw in some we was kings and that sort of thing, but you was defeated, you was brought over here, you was a slave, and the master had his way with, no, this is what they're gonna do. So the master's wife and his daughter had the way with the male slaves by putting strap-ons and pegging them. That's basically a documentary. It's a mix of black BMs being cucked along with anti-IR agenda, particularly for BMs and WWs, and a lot of victimization and some you was king, so you don't need to do anything with your life, and it's okay that you're a failure. You have an excuse, and you were buck broke. People who were buck broke. Oh, they can't be successful. They can't be accountable. They can't clean up their own mess. They can't realize that they're being used and their reputation and image is at an all-time low, which is bringing us all down, which we're going to fix that. On this channel, if nothing else, we're going to fix that reputation stuff. Or at the very least, show how thinking BMs can avoid being part of that mess. We're working on that as we speak. Yeah, trust me, this channel, it might not even be in this channel. It might have to take a new channel to do so. But, I mean, before the maturity of my hair turns gray, we are going to make sure that those thinking BMs, like you who are watching, or thinking men in general, like you who are watching, we don't get caught up in this mess that they're doing here. Because this is enough. I mean, look, oh yeah, shout out to Jaws. He said something that I wanted to touch in the Highlander mentality. I think I actually have that as part of the explanation. Let's see what the next. Oh, what was that? Yeah, okay. Well, that's the next explanation. After this one, rallying behind Messiah to do their dirty work. That's the next reason. Shout out to Mama's Cooking. If I haven't said that before, Mama's Cooking is teaching us a lot of things. Mama's Cooking. You all know who Mama's Cooking is. Shout out to Kwame Brown. Mama's Cooking, KS, Mr. High Value, other individuals who have you, such as Rushfi. All these guys, they deserve their due. And this is definitely no shot towards them. This is a shot towards the individuals who are rallying behind them and are super fanboying behind them to the point where, oh my goodness, it's him or nothing. He's our last hope. You're our only hope. Oh my goodness. Don't screw this now. Protect, fill in the blank at all costs. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh man. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
All right, repeat that.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
All right, there you go.
I'm Michael Jordan.
All right, I didn't want that repeated. But yeah. Anyway, that's for the guys who are under this category, and you wonder why women don't respect men. You are basically putting all your eggs either in one basket or, well, the smart ones put it in a few baskets. I'll give them that. But nonetheless, you have a problem with women, whether they rejected you or whether they're putting you in child support or whether they're putting you through crossfires, making you simp and trick and do all sorts of backflips and Jester Max and Doug Max and all this kind of stuff. Basically, stripping your dignity. They're making you strip your dignity in order to get their attention. And a lot of it's because you allow it. You allow these women to basically drag you through the mud and say, oh man, yeah, I gotta do all this. Okay. That which goes back to the other example of following what others tell you. But so you do that, you fail, and then you don't want to correct your mess. You don't want to do something, look inside yourself and see what you need to do in order to get yourself straight. Or, well, I can't even say get these women straight because I don't believe in forcing women to do something that they don't want to do. Trust me. We saw how that worked, and that ended up with us having feminism. Let's just be honest. A lot of gals, especially WWs, and other non-BWs, were basically stuck with men that they were not attracted to or that they didn't even like. Because if that was the case, then feminism, in its current form especially, would not be that powerful in this country. A lot of that, and I hate to say it, and a lot of you guys are like, oh, see, he's quoting Dom Game Division, his Dom Train collision. C Boogie said it when he said, look, a lot of feminism was done because a lot of women did not like the guys that they were with. And they didn't like how church and the state were in unison, in order to enforce men who were undesirable to get with women who were out of their league. And a lot of these women are like, yeah, okay, you gals, it's like, you want to enforce us? You want to, first of all, we don't like you all, and now you want to be tyrants and come home and push your power on us and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're ushering in feminism, free love, birth control, condoms, and we're gonna get the guys that we actually want. And then maybe we'll come back to you after we've hit the wall, quote unquote. Trust me. Now a lot of these guys are looking for a messiah to do their dirty work, which is basically rewind time back to the 50s, where these guys who will put in no work of their own was just have the women submit to them and cower to them and be at their beck and call, whether it's in the kitchen or in the bedroom, knowing damn well that these girls will still not like them, or will even have more of a contempt for them. But they don't care. As long as I have my snoo, I want my in-house snoo. I want. That's what these guys want. And I'm not saying that you wanting a spouse is wrong or whatever, but you want to want that spouse because she wants to be there, not because you're forcing her to be there or the church or state are forcing her to be there. No, that doesn't. This is what feminism, if anything, has taught us. Women are just as sentient as men in regard to what they want. And if they don't like it, they may not change it in the year, they may not change it in the decade, they may not even change it in their lives. But they will. The pendulum swings. The pendulum doesn't stop swinging until it gets to the center. And whoever wants to disturb the pendulum, that's just going to prolong the swinging from one side to the other, right until it gets to the center, and when no one touches it. A lot of this church and state, anti-miscegenation laws, that was a bunch of guys who basically couldn't compete in other Western societies, having the pendulum swing to the right, or lifting the pendulum to the right. But they lifted so far, and now it's going to go to the far left, and we're seeing a bunch of stuff that the far left's doing, and yeah, they're disturbing the pendulum swing, and then it goes back to the far right, and a lot of these guys are clueless. They don't know what to do. So now they're looking towards a messiah to do their dirty work. Whether it's Mr. High Value, Mr. Mama's Cooking, or on the other side, the Roosh Fees, the roll-ups, the guys in the beer in the car, or the LARPer, the Donald Trump LARPer. They're looking towards guys to basically check the women for them. Or because these guys, they have either Shaniqua or Sarah syndrome. Sarah, Sasha, whatever, Becky syndrome. I don't know. Yeah. They have that kind of syndrome to the point where they cannot just do what I'm about to mention last. Not next, but last. The next point I want to talk is that these guys these days can't unify and work together, and that is a deep issue that I want to talk about. The reason why I shut out Donovan Sharp's CME convention was because that was an example of guys working together and guys unifying regardless of race. Regardless if you like some of those guys, hate some of those guys, I'll tell you this. Yes, I respect Donovan Sharp, and shout out to him. I talked with him behind the scenes, him and a couple of other individuals. But there are other individuals, or maybe an individual who was a highlight on that stage who I do not like. Let's just say this. A lot of stuff happens behind the scenes, and a lot of egos, dude bro egos, prevail. I'll just leave it at that. But even with him, I include him with this. The unity that I saw there was commendable. And that is what's missing today from a lot of guys. And that's the reason why I don't blame women for disrespecting men. They don't know how to unify. They don't know how to unify as men. And going to the last point I wanted to make, I mean, if you are looking towards another man to check your woman, do you think that's masculine at all? Do you think that shows masculinity? Do you think that shows any sort of indication that you're a man? Same thing with not unifying with other individuals because of ego or because of, oh man, yeah man, look, man, he's jawline, man, I ain't working with him. Or he's an educated lame, yeah, I ain't working with him. Or he's black, he's BBC, I ain't working with him. Or he's part of the dough, he's part of the man, he's benefiting from my ancestors, I ain't working with him. Cut the crap, cut the crying, and just cut the sophomore trash. That's the reason why women don't respect you, is because you all can't work with each other. This, the white manosphere and the black manosphere, all this other kind of stuff, it's pathetic. And a lot of what I see on both sides are just the stereotypes, the caricatures of what a lot of people who are in the middle, the pragmatic people, no matter how few there are, or we are, what they think when it comes to whites and blacks. I mean, when you see the black manosphere, those who are tribalism, they're all in the hood, swag, so all this other kind of stuff. They're all into the menstrual side of Black America, and then they're all about tough talking, just telling people to catch flights and all this other goofy nonsense, and man, just roasting nonstop if all else fails, or just thirsting online, all this other kind of stuff. Just the stereotypes. Same thing with the white manosphere, no different. These guys, they are half these guys sound like robots. I mean, no individuality whatsoever, no authenticity, no sort. I'm not saying charisma is like the end all be all of things, but these guys literally are the kind of guys that you in the white manosphere, particularly those who cry about women, who will say, like, no, I would not hang out with you as another dude if you invited me to a bar and paid for my tab that entire night. I will not hang out with you because you are not. I see why women don't like you. You are flat. You're flatter than water. You're colder than ice. You're whiter than rice. Not pigment wise, but just you're plainer than rice. And what do you like? What do you have to offer? What life have you lived? And you have the same talking points and thought patterns as the basic white boy. And yes, I'm the basic white boy, meaning, oh my goodness, Trump is going to save us. Let's go back to the other point. Rely behind Messiah to do your dirty work. You thought Donald Trump was going to save you. You thought Donald Trump was going to save you, right? You really thought Donald Trump was going to make your country great again. Make your country again. Huh? You really thought that? No, in the 4 years, and I guess that's sort of I guess some of these people are smarter than what we give them because, I'll be honest, they didn't show up as much in 2020 as they did in 2016. Maybe some of them were like, oh man, he's talking trash about these immigrants and these Muslims, but he's too neutral on the BBC. I don't know about that. Well, I ain't gonna vote for Sleepy Joe, but I'm just gonna stay home this time. Yeah, that's what some of them probably did because too neutral towards the BBC. We got to demonize the BBC like Jim Crow. Let me not go on Sleepy, whatever. But yeah, guys these days cannot unify and work together. And a lot of these guys who are about that tribalism, divisiveness, they're stereotypes. They're stereotypical Negroes or Anglos, and quite frankly, a lot of these guys I would not want to be in the same room with because these guys have no originality. They're basic. I hate to say this, basic bitch black boys, basic bitch white boys, and they don't have. It's like talking to an NPC, and no, it isn't just those on the left who are NPCs. Those on the right can be NPCs too. It's just that a lot of these guys want to throw that around to anyone who is of a leftist mindset, knowing damn well that these guys follow the same old Fox News at best, Breitbart at worst. Well, I wouldn't say Fox News in this case. I'm going to see actually getting some sort of credit and some sort of voice on Fox News. But Breitbart, Chateau Artiste, Race and IQ, Stefan Molyneux, kind of individuals. And no, these are the same guys who will post World War II documentaries on their IG thinking they're original. You're not original. You're not. Honestly, we all know what time it is. We all know who you admire, and we all know what kind of country you want. And we all know the kind of individuals you want to, demonize, discredit, demonize, and destroy. And that's the reason why I'm not a fan of the Manosphere. I'm sorry. And they can't put their little egos and fragile egos to the side and fears of, oh my goodness, she's going to get blacked. Every girl's going to get blacked. Oh my goodness. They're going to get blacked, guys. Or she was blacked. Oh my goodness. If she was blacked, I can't touch her. She's radioactive. She got hit with a tactical nuke. And it's the same thing with the other side, the baby kid side. They're all about just, white man. I'll never work with them. But you know what? That's the reason why women don't respect you. That's the reason why women across races, they may not even like each other. Some of them might be racist. And trust me, with the way things are going, I'm surprised a good amount of them are. Particularly in this country, which, as I said, a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about, oh man, once the world opens up, I'm just going to say this. Some individuals, some traveling individuals are going to have some competition. Some friendly competition. But some friendly competition. I'll just leave it at that because I actually do like these guys. And these guys are doing a hell of a service. I'd rather you listen to these guys. If you want to listen to some quote-unquote Manosphere affiliate guys, listen to the guys who are telling you to travel. Don't waste your time on anyone else. Any of these other individuals who are telling you this gender war stuff, this bullcrap, this whatever. It's all a waste of time. If you're going to listen to that red pill stuff, unless the red pill message is stop marching, start packing. Shout out to the late Charles Tyler for that quote. Unless the message or their channel is about that, then don't listen to them. Don't even waste your time with them. And the dating coaches here, yeah, you can listen to. I listen to them for entertainment. And as I said, a lot of dating coaches here, yeah, they're doing the service. Why are you shutting down Sharp? You're telling him, why are you wasting time with the Americans? Good question. Because Donovan and other individuals, other dating coaches who are legitimate dating coaches, and I'll name the ones who I think are legitimate. ARC, AMS, even though those two like each other and have one claims the other has taken this stuff, which when I read the book out, we'll figure that out. Stuff is cold. I already said Donovan and Ron Wills. Those are your 5 guys. If you're going to listen to any dating coaches on how to deal with women here, listen to those 5 and you're good. Yeah, there are some others who are cool, who are alright, like, was it Fit Fearless? Was it MJ Get Right? But at this point, once you get down there, it's just a matter of redundancy and it's just redundancy. And at this point, I mean, we only have but 24 hours in a day. But the rest of these dating roaches, yeah, I said it, dating roaches. So a lot of these guys are just dating roaches. These other guys who are shaming guys who are traveling overseas or trying to convince you that women overseas are all the same, so you might as well stay here and deal with the worst dating market. Yeah, okay, well, all right, whatever. And they'll work together with that. Some of these guys will work together when it comes to getting your money or trying to tell you that don't leave the United States. That's funny. And they're doing that to all men, not just black men. But yeah, they especially are doing that to black men, but they are doing that to an extent to all men. Even though, I'll say this, other men don't have as much of a necessity to leave the United States if they are to have successful relationships and marriages and families than non-black men. Although non-black men, let's just say these divorce courts and these family laws, they affect you too. Just because you aren't black doesn't mean you're exempt from the family laws, nor the child support, nor the alimony. And that is the reason why guys these days need to work together. Seriously. Drop the ego. Drop the racial tribalism. I don't care. Drop the chitlins and couscous. There you go. Drop the hog mogs and flavorless potato salad, please. Drop the canned yams and whatever. The canned yams and just raw yams. Fuck. Drop it. Both sides need to get some help. But the last thing I'm going to talk about, shout out to all of you here at this point, dealing with my semi-ramblings. Oh, I love this. This is the favorite. This is the main reason why a lot of these women don't respect you. Not willing to walk away. Oh, man. A lot of people, and I know shout out to BGS, who he's sort of, I'm not going to say he took what I've been stating for years without giving me credit because he's part of that clique. The clique, I'm not going to go into who the clique is, but, back when there was the Manosphere was somewhat legitimate with myself, O'Shea, Solo, and a couple of others, there was another part of the Manosphere that was considered the clique, and let's just say this, those who were on his Saturday night panels constantly, they were part of the clique. And the clique likes to take stuff from us, from others, and not really give credit to where credit's due. But nonetheless, this is the message that I've been saying for years. But only now, since someone else who they like, who other individuals like, their daddy, no shot to him personally, but I've been saying this message for years. Not willing to walk away. Not willing to walk away. You gotta walk away. And no, not walk away as a tactic in order to get women to come to the negotiating table. Obsidian. But willing to walk away and never look back. And just exile yourself if you haven't been exiled from the community already. Look, if you're watching my videos, chances are you probably have been exiled from the community, whether actively or passively or whatever. Explicitly or implicitly, you've been exiled. If you're watching my channel, if you're watching my videos and you're commenting on them, particularly if you're agreeing with them, you've probably been exiled from the community. It's just what it is. But a lot of guys really, for some reason, want to feel home. Particularly home within the community. I don't know why. I don't know what it is that you are looking for. Are you just looking for that day of validation, that day of glory, that day of victory? When Shinene or Shaniqua or whoever that girl, that metaphorical, symbolic girl who dissed you middle school and high school finally comes around and gives you a shot, gives you a chance, and says, I was wrong, Darius, I was wrong, and I'm going to make it up to you all night long. No. That day's never coming. I'm sorry. That day's never coming. No matter how much crying that you do, no matter how much pleading, reason, negotiation you do, no matter how many tables you bring to the negotiating conference yet you do. No, all the tables in the world don't matter. No matter how much you follow what others tell you to do in order to be a sensitive man / simp, pulling out your best R&B impersonation or being a thug with swag and tattoos, Well, that might help you, at least in the bedroom for a bit, but you will be among the individuals who get thrown out once your use is up, or once you once you don't last 3 hours, you only last 2.5 hours instead of 3. You will get look. You want to talk about all these women being a part of the streets? You will be thrown into the streets. Talk about, oh, what was that? Send her to the streets, man. No, you belong to the streets. All you swag hacks out there. All you Renaissance fair gangsters out there. You better keep lasting all night, because if you don't, Shaniqua and Shanae and whomever, she will send you to the streets. And you won't be able to say anything because, well, she's for the streets. No, you're for the streets, buddy. You're for the streets. And that's how they see you. That's how they see it. Because you weren't willing to walk away. Let me see. Oh, yeah, the tattoos, yeah. You know what is easier than getting tattoos? Walking away. And also with the other stuff, knocking down and all that, rallying. You know what's easier than rallying behind a Messiah to do your dirty work? Walking away. You know what's easier than even knocking down and not help? Well, I guess not helping men, I guess. Just whatever. Knocking down men who like this individual, like this young man, like King Randall. You know what's easier to do than make all these hit pieces? Walking away. And you know what is easier, actually, than unifying? I know a lot of these guys don't want to unify. All right, fine. Walk away. Walk away from the women who you say don't respect you. Walk away from the women who you say can't stand you. Walk away from the women who you say didn't select you. Walk away from the women who called you an EL, and a dork, and a dweeb, and all that kind of stuff, because you just want to get straight A's so that you can get the hell out of whatever mediocre condition or crap hole that you were in. Just walk away. Oh, is that hard? Oh wait, a lot of you guys are afraid that there's nothing on the other side. Well, tell me this: even if there is nothing on the other side, which the powers that be are trying to do that with making all these stories all of a sudden, ever since 2021, a certain political event, you've seen all these stories of BMs back in the news, just terror being the face of violence. Whereas this time 2 years ago, you didn't see as much. Nobody else sees that? Let's not make this political. I forgot. Let's not make this, we're apolitical here. At least we try to be. But yeah. You guys are not willing to walk away. Look, exactly. You guys walk away, man. Just walk away. And I say that to the brothers from other mothers. Particularly my POC brothers from other mothers. Well, Hispanic men, I'll be honest, you don't have much to walk away from. From what I've seen, your women, out of all the women, I sort of don't blame you for being mad when non-Hispanic men go after your woman. Now, that biasness where you go after BMs vehemently, but don't say anything about the white boys when they do it. Now that's some bullshit. That shit needs to change. That's some bullshit. If you're gonna be mad at everyone consistently. But overall, I don't blame you. The guys who are pissed off when they see their Hanya or Selenia with a white man and a black man equally, an Anglo white man or a black man or whatever. If they're equally pissed, okay, I don't blame them. Because those women are actually the most cooperative in this country. I'm just going to say it right that. Just like that. So, a lot of you guys, I don't see much reason for a lot of Latino dudes to walk away. White men, you conquer the world, whether through consent or conquest. You conquered this country, you terraformed this country. You made a place that some people consider desolate into a civilization. You civilized it. Those are your words, not mine. You did all this stuff. You fought wars. Take down people. You brought down the reputation to beat your competition. You made them look either super predators. You made them look like either super predators or super eunuchs. The AM, by the way, not the super eunuch part. But your women still don't cooperate with them. They still are wearing pink colored hair or red colored hair and yelling in your face and doing all this other kind of stuff and the finger waving and all this other. They still have feminism, right? They still sneak out for BBC every now and again, huh? Walk away then. Now a lot of you guys have the cheat code of the AW. I'm not going to go into that, but nonetheless, I partially don't blame those guys because at least they walked away and they went to women who, at least on the surface, will cooperate and submit to them to their whiteness more. I don't blame them. And if you are wondering why do I have a slight distrust of them, it's because it's simple. I'm not look, if you were going to spend all this money to convince AWs to hate BMs, then I mean, are you going to blame someone for being suspicious when they see a WM and an AW? I mean, it's about competition. It's about fair competition, fair access. I'm just saying. And I mean, just look, as far as that's concerned, I personally don't have any prejudice when it comes to any sort of couples whatsoever. But I'm not just going to sit around and then just say, oh, it's okay if you get access to all the women while your same media paints individuals who look like me like unproductive individuals to the point in which I have access to no one. I'm calling that out. I'm calling that out. And until that gets fixed, then I'm just shrugging my shoulders. I won't say anything. I definitely won't engage in this stop Asian hate stuff. And I don't support that neither, honestly. I do not. That's garbage. Any attack on any innocent individuals is horrific, regardless of race. So let's just clear that up right now. But I'm not going to sit by and have people who look like me be seen as the boogeyman. As if this is the 1920s instead of like the 2020s. That's not happening. Now, as far as what we do about it, we'll talk about that in future videos. We will. I promise. But yeah, I'm not. Look, I have my head down. Pay my taxes. Do my job. Have a little bit of fun here and there. And I'm about this paper and these investments. Why the hell am I being seen as the same as the individual who's committing all this stuff? People don't want to answer that. If the American doesn't want to answer that, then that's fine. I'm not going to make a big ruckus out of it. I'm not going to cry about WS. You're not supreme, by the way. I mean, that just goes to show you. I mean, going out of your way to paint me like that just shows how inferior these individuals are. And not all WMs. I'm not including that in that equation. I'm not. These individuals, I don't know what it is. Well, they're just doing... Well, you know what? How about you highlight everyone who's doing something equally? And not just put the BM and plaster his face whenever a BM does something. That's the first news. That's the first thing on the news, on the 11 o'clock news. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them too. And trust me, these individuals, you know, how about this? You all who secretly hate BMs and don't want competitive BMs and do all what you can to stop BMs from being competitive, like what they're doing to King Randall, and the criminals, the real criminals, you all can have this place. You all can have a particular part of the country, I'd say the eastern part, where it has all sorts of crappy weather and thunderstorms and humidity and the snow. You can have that. How about the rest of us who are more pragmatic, who are racially impartial, racially neutral? We have our own part of the country, and we'll tend to ourselves, and we'll start actually making this country great. But and that's the thing. A lot of guys are not willing to walk away. They'd rather have these wars. They'd rather have these bickering and arguing, and they'd rather just do all this annoying stuff, which to me, it's getting annoying. It's rather getting annoying. It's getting tiring, and yeah, I honestly think that the average age mentally of an American is in the mid-teens, if that. Because no other country really does this. No other first world country really does this. I'm not measuring this country against a third world country. I'm not one of these individuals who are going to pimp out, and respect to the guys who do, but the guys who are like Colombia, Brazil, DR, oh my god, no. I'm not comparing the women here versus the women there. I'm comparing the women here versus the women in places like Japan, freaking Australia, freaking New Zealand, South Korea, freaking Taiwan, the ROC, Singapore, freaking Western Europe, Scandinavian Europe, even Southern Europe. Compare those countries to here. The UAE. Compare those countries to here and see what the quality is. And you know, to be continued on that fact. To be continued. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, you guys aren't willing to walk away. I see a bunch of BMs, and I got I'm saying, basically trying to cook me for saying most BMs want PWs. Okay, well, you know what? You're gonna get what you get. You're gonna get the have fun being a stepdaddy. Have fun with the disrespect. Have fun, or step granddaddy. Step granddaddy. Sheesh. Have fun with this disrespecting and the all that kind of stuff. Not because it's in their nature. It's in the BW's nature. She's a disrespecter and that kind of no. She doesn't like you. She does not like you, and she doesn't like the fact that you're trying to make her like you. I mean, that's where the disrespecting comes in more than anything else. A lot of, truth be told, I do not deal with a lot of disrespecting from American BWs. And do you know why? I don't force them to do something that they don't want. If they don't like me and they don't intrinsically like me, I'm not going to be the kind of individuals like, why don't you like me? Why don't you like me? I'm going to shame you to like me. Make all these videos in order to poke the bear. Make you like me. Please like me. I want you to like me. Please, why don't you like me? And no, that's the reason why. You know what? The secret to why I have not had my channel flagged down in all these years, you know what the secret is? I don't poke the bear. The bear who intrinsically doesn't like individuals like myself to begin with. I don't. I really don't. Look, if they don't like productive BMs, leave them be. And really leave them be. Not leave them be until they come back to the table. If they come back, you know what? Tell them this. Two-state solution. Two-state peaceful solution. Like how DJ Trump was trying to do with the Koreas initially until the other individuals ended up ruining it. But yeah. If they want to come back to the table, if they're like, oh, we're sorry, we'll give you, I know, I was wrong, and you can have me all night long. No, just say no. If you want to, don't turn your head back. Tell them with the back of your head face towards them, and say that, okay, apology accepted, and now we have a two-state solution. We have because that's how you gotta handle it. That's how you gotta handle women, regardless of race. You know, white guys. I got into that big diatribe about white. Yeah. I was going to say, you all did all that, and then your women don't respect you. Really? Then walk away. Freaking walk away. Same with you black men and you Asian men. Oh man, the unsung heroes. Not necessarily the unsung. I don't say victims, but the unsung struggle are the Asian men who deal with Asian women who worship white men. A lot of them don't want to admit it for one reason or another. And if they were to, I don't know if they're in fear of getting that illegal immigrant treatment. I think that's part of the reason. That's just me. But a lot of them just need to really nut up and say, hey, look, this is BS. Stop hounding our women down. And they got to say that to the right men, the right group of men who have been hounding their women down. Because the WMs can't, for some reason, don't want to make their woman cooperate or whatever. Like, not willing to walk away is the biggest reason why a lot of women disrespect men, because they know they have you by the balls. Other than that, yeah, AMs have it rough. I mean, honestly, it's because I'm not going to say it's their fault, and you know what? They shouldn't have it rough. With the money that they make, the income that they make, and the productivity that they bring, they should have it among the easiest. And I know they're aiming for that with the rise of the East. I just hope that, you know, I won't go into who I think should be the superpower of the East, honestly. But yeah. Yeah, but yeah, let me go on ahead and see the other individuals who spoke here. Shout out to all of you who stayed with me. Just so yeah, AMs have it rough. As I say, yeah, they do have it. They have it unnecessarily rough. AMs, Asian men, Indian men, well, or South Asian men, they have it rough. And you know, but here's a kicker. If I was an Asian male, for all you Asian brothers watching out there, and Indian brothers watching out there, you have rising powers that you can easily go to after you get your money or your education here, and you can be set. You can be set. And I know a lot of guys are like, "Oh man, so am I going to get the blondes?" Dude, this is game 401. You get your education here, right? Get your education here. You get your 4-year degree here. Hell, it doesn't have to even be at Harvard or Yale. Hey, as long as you go to a school where Division 1 college football is played, you're good. And obviously you got to get a STEM degree or doctor degree or whatever. But if you get one of those at a Division 1 school or a prestigious school, fine, one of those elite schools, then you can take your ass to an Eastern country. It doesn't have to be the country of your origin. Just it'll be near it, but just if you're a mainland Chinese dude, right, get your degree and go work in South Korea or Taiwan or Singapore somewhere. Maybe Japan. I know they got the history and all. But yeah, you do that, you will be set. I'm telling you. And you guys have that opportunity, unlike some other guys, such as myself. Yeah, I mean, I can go overseas. Somewhat easy. Saturated. You guys can go overseas a lot easier because of that national background. Because they are looking for guys like you. And you can be set, not only with your women, but with other women of other races. Because check this out. Other women, including those blondes that you have been programmed to adore and worship here in the West, who may or may not have given you a chance in high school or middle school or college or whatever, they will be jumping you when you go east. The few that there are, the few that exist, most of them probably from Russia or Europe somewhere. And trust me, those are the better ones. Trust me, I've been around. And if you want cooperation and submission, if you need that blonde bombshell dream, even if it's just for a short-term fling, you're better off going to the east. She may not speak English, but she'll be a bombshell nonetheless. It's not. Yeah. Anyway, so shout out to all the brothers from the east the few brothers from the east who may watch this, and that's just for a little tidbit for all of you. They'll be easier there in order to deal with, in order to get, than those out here, which is sad because. But yeah, shout out to that. Let me see the other messages before we get out of here. 21 people. Now 21 people are here. All right. A shout out to all 21 people of you here who are watching. If you want to say anything about what I'm saying so far, counterfeit, feel free to do so. Okay, so AWs beat out Latin Ws in terms of femininity. I'm just reading Josh's comment. As for brothers can win, but they have to go to places. Yeah, exactly. Where many of those other guys, goof troop guys, can or won't go to. See, that's the key. If you're gonna travel overseas, you gotta go to places where Bebe's kids will not go to. You gotta avoid places where because Bebe's kids, from what I hear, they've already made places like Rio and Medellin, and especially Sousa, whatever it is. They made those places basically little freaknik zones to the point in which it's like, well, it's basically like being in America. We don't have, and I mean, why do you want to leave them? Well, I've already analyzed that in my previous video. Lames in Atlanta, was it Lames in Atlanta, Kings in Sosua or something like that. Check that out. Let me see what else. Shout out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that at this point, look, if your country's on a lockdown, be on your purpose. Put your head down. It is important that you put your head down. Putting your head down is one of the best things you can do. I'm talking metaphorically speaking, as in like, don't worry about chasing, approaching, trying to jump, dance, and hula hoop, and gesture max and thug max your way to getting some women who had other men do less. I'm all about efficiency. I'm all about being efficient when it comes to getting what you want. Doing as little as you can. Working smart, not hard. Because everyone's ancestors who came to this country has worked hard enough. Now, I'm including some of these WMs who have an ego and an arrogance towards BMs. Their ancestors, because look, their ancestors built this country. I know it's going to be a controversial thing to say. They built this country for the most part. Not the entire country. There were plenty of Asian men, black men, Latino men who put in the part. But all our ancestors worked hard to make what this country is today. Only for a bunch of egotistical, limp-wristed, soy boy, neck beard, ego fragile guys to just squander it. Can't work together to save your freaking lives. And now, yeah, you can finish the rest. Exactly. Let me see. Oh, shout out to Canis Lupus. He just subscribed. Okay, I was wondering where that came from. Okay, so with that being said, yeah, I'm seeing all these wonderful comments about the U.S. Army during World War II tried to prevent BMs from having any contact from Alaska residents, or even other non-white Alaska residents. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard about that. Exactly, I've heard about that. You're talking about, wow, you're talking Premier League soccer. We're really talking about Premier League soccer. Okay, exactly. Shout out to that. Yeah, being in the UK gave me a bit of fresh air, had some peace. Yeah, and that's what it's about. It's about peace. Yeah, I'm gonna be on my Edward Anderson right quick. So let me see. And go ahead and what man negotiate exactly? What man negotiates with a woman who doesn't like him? Exactly. You're gonna negotiate with women. Negotiate with those who like you at least, or are cool with you at least. I mean, sheesh. Look. Anyway. Yeah. Exactly. Facing the other cities. Exactly. Yeah, you wasn't there to holler at women. You weren't there to holler at women, excuse me. Yeah, exactly. And there you go. I want to visit France to see the Le Mans 24 hours race. It's a 24 hours race. Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, the UK, as I said, if you need a transition to travel to Europe, there's nothing wrong with the UK. You got these guys. Oh, where France is beautiful. Pro BM and Pookie untouched. Okay, wow, really? So a lot of people, some people talk trash about France and saying, oh man, they did the Africa, man. You know, man, they did the Haiti, man. Well, we got, the funny thing about this was I actually had tickets lined up to go to visit Paris and or fly to Paris and go across Europe and France. But if it wasn't for the lockdown and it wasn't for all this stuff, I'd be in Europe right now. I would be in Europe, straight up. But hey, look, just because of the lockdown, because right now, I mean, what's the use of really going if you can't experience the entirety of the trip? Exactly. Let's see. Yeah, you can drive and see. Hey, look, nerd. If you're a BM nerd, one of your best cities is Seattle, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And it's one of the very few places where BM nerds can really thrive, because I wouldn't even like, as much as Arizona is cool and Phoenix is cool, I wouldn't say that's the first place you want to go to, because it's a bit more on the dude bro-y side. I mean, it doesn't have the racial tension, but it's still more it's sort of your SoCal image kind of. Think Southern California, think LA without the racial tension. That's Phoenix, folks. There you go. Without the racial tension and dialed down version of Hollywood. There you go. So let's see. I'm going up to the comments. I'm going up here. Shout out to all your Japanese is hardest level to learn. I need to get back to that. I need to get back to really learning Japanese. I have been learning a bit of Spanish, so yay me for understanding the basics. But yeah, nonetheless, let me go ahead and so other than that, I want to thank you all for joining me. How do I get 24 views? 24 views now? Anyway, shout out to all of you who joined late. Feel free to watch the playback. And for everyone else out there, yeah, you know the catchphrase. Oh, what was that? If the alt-right ever got wind of my time in the United Kingdom, the alt-righters would be... Yeah, they'd be pitching fits for ages. I know. That's what the alt-right does. Yeah, exactly. But, hey, we aren't going to let the alt-right stop us. We aren't going to let the BS stop us. The pro-ax shame us. We're not going to let the dating coaches try to convince us that this is what they call female nature. This BS they call female nature is worldwide. We're not going to let them do that. Let me see. You know, the SoCal degenerates have invaded there in Las Vegas. Oh, have invaded Las Vegas. You know what? We need to check that out. I mean, I do notice some of the SoCal degenerates trying to get to flee into Las Vegas, and are they bringing the BS with them, or are they truly trying to start anew? So we gotta figure that out, and we may do a video about that in the near future. But yeah, always bet on the X. Just always bet on the X, people. Thanks.